There's something a little twisted about the fact that one of our favorite things as viewers is watching characters get bad news. It just is. You know, we supposedly love these characters. We supposedly empathize with them. But here we are. Oh my God. I'm on the edge of my seat. They're about to find out that Luke died. You know, they're about to find out that their mom left them. They're shopping, and we know they're going home in 10 minutes, and we know mom's already gone. We know that they're not going to react very well to that. And here we are. We can't wait to see it because we're here for the mess. We say we care about these characters, but we're here for the mess. I was that way last episode. When they were, oh yeah, they're finally going to get this news. It'd be interesting to see it go a different direction, though. Rather than anger, let's go out there and kill them. What if Naruto is like depressed? Just falls into depression, doesn't want to do anything, stays in bed, you know? I don't know, it's something different. Like it might be that might be interesting. Probably not. He is who he is. And one thing we can't say that he is passive. He's not a passive person. And I don't know if severe depression is necessarily passive. I don't know. Well, let's go ahead and get into it and find out. I'm not a clinical psychologist, so what the hell do I know? This is 153, and we're going on one. 3, 2, 1. Where's the animation going? I was going to say, man, what the hell? Is that just the title? Why'd they start doing this? So weird. I guess it is. Now that they've done 2 episodes in a row, it must be the title or some shit. Yeah. Yeah. How about having your own life instead of being obsessed with him? Stop calling him boy. Maybe we're going to get some more about him in the training, right? Because I've been expecting more flashbacks from the time skip. And we haven't really done that for the most part. Like, training can be boring. I know a lot of people that watch this are kind of into the training. They want to know the details, the magic system, the limitations. Which I'm watching a video on how much Harry Potter sucks and how not thought out, the magic system is. And, I like Harry Potter, the series. The author is trash, but I like the series. But, they're making a fair point in that it looks like just if you have magical power, now you have to have magical power to be fair, which this wasn't brought up in the video. But basically, you just need to know the word, you need to know how to pronounce it, and you need a wand, and you can do the spell. Right? That's all there is to it. And you can apparently do like an infinite number of spells per day. There's no limitation there. So, you need limitation. Limitations make magic interesting. Unlimited magic is not interesting. Like, it solves every problem, and there's no real intrigue there. The fact that, like, how can people be broke and be poor in the Harry Potter world? If you have magic, you make whatever you want with magic, right? Well, one way you can do that is if you're limited to 10 spells a day or something. So you have to, you may want to hold back and use these spells for other things rather than, creating wealth or food or something. So, here you're limited by chakra, how much chakra you can produce per day. You need limitations for magic to be interesting. And I don't think the author of Harry Potter understood that. Like, she didn't understand many things, like sports. Yeah. I can't see him being Hokage. Agreed. What if his books are any good? Why must you put boy and girl after every name? Idiot. dare you lecture me, you little frog? Yeah. Hey, man, that's good shit. Come on out of there. Oh, that's good too. One of them. That's good intel, man. I find it disturbing that the frog is riding another frog. He turned a frog into a beast of burden. Is that frog not sentient? How does Goofy own a dog? It's weird, right? Not all dogs are sentient in the Disney verse. By the way, if you look up why Goofy owns a dog, it's actually pretty dark. I wouldn't suggest doing that. What I like about this is like a lot of times though, Memento did a good job of this. When we remember people, when we grieve, we don't just remember the good things; we remember the bad things too. Hollywood doesn't represent that. Just spit up his body. Hell yeah. That's why you try to recover the corpses. Good shit. You just chilling out there. Oh, you got a picture of it. Good shit. I don't think we'll be doing that though. Yeah, Payne seems to be the biggest problem right now. You got to take his ass out. Don't forget his female minion as well. She doesn't seem attached to his magic. Yep, one of these days, even if I have to drag his corpse back by hand. Sit your ass down and shut the hell up. Hey, man, he's trying to kick your ass. Too bad you're too small. Oh, shit. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's all about tricking you. They'd be tearing that field up. Dude, you're wrecked. So we just sell ninja outfits at the. What would that be? I don't know. I don't know clothing store names. I just realized. What, Kohl's? Is that a clothing store? I'm not sure. This mofo. Tell him to shut up. Yeah, I'm too much of a sad boy. Yeah. That's when you. It's when the dog doesn't eat. Yeah, man. He thinks he's too good for me. Just then wait for him. Do I have to do everything? You're already here, you whiny bitch. She's out of here. She's going to get her drink on. Maybe lose at backgammon or something. And are you her secretary? Why are you hanging out in her office all the time? Did they need to animate his eyes like that? That was very pervy. Well, she won this one. I like that how that's all POV, by the way. Typically, shows don't do that. Okay, who's that evil son of a bitch next to you? So I guess it's just gonna sit there, huh? You already heated it up, man. Is that a tablet or is that one of those like etch sketch things? Etch a sketch was laptops before we had laptops. I like how they're letting all this breathe. The sign of a really good show is they let the grief breathe. Screen time matters, and when you devote screen time to something, the audience, even if it's just subconsciously, pick up on the fact, okay, this matters. So if a dude's girlfriend dies and he's cracking jokes 10 minutes later, you know the show don't take it seriously. Hey, it looked like Mickey Mouse. Another thing they're doing here, shit, it's about time. Get in the loop. You were an asshole. That's when you know it's real. They see your flaws and they accept you anyway. Walk it off. I'm taking this ice cream. What I was gonna say was, I like what one thing they do here is like when you're grieving, you'll go through the motions, but then you won't finish it off. You buy an ice cream, but then you don't eat it. You prepare a meal, but then you don't eat it. Shit like that, right? It's a cool touch. I checked all my books. Hmm. I didn't ask you. Maybe it has to do with the menu, like menu items, right? They sometimes are numbered. It's Naruto, easily. Yeah, or Naruto. Those two went to the same restaurant. It could be doing with the menu. Yeah, whatever. He wants to see the other chick, I guess. Yeah, we have time for this apparently. I mean, numbers are numbers, man. It could have come up in any number of ways. That was his temperature when he was sick. Dude. So we're not going to get anywhere, is what you're saying. She saw it before you did. Go see him. Aren't you his original sensei? One of them. He's had a lot of them. Four, at least. Maybe it's a cell phone number. What the hell you want? Yeah, and then take a bath. No, he's not. Look at him. I'm thinking, asshole. I'm out of here. That's right. I'm gonna go outside and kick your ass. Might be on something there. Oh, interesting. How much of a dumbass are you? Jesus. Try moronic. It's more moronic than obnoxious. You know, I'm starting to think that her and the dead dude were having sex. I'm starting to believe that it's possible. I don't know. You got a few years before you got to worry about that. Grieve the correct way or don't grieve at all. It's called grief, asshole. It happens the way it happens. It has nothing to do with masculinity. I mean, that's an important evolution. The messaging sucks. Hide your grief. Don't let anybody see it. They'll call you a whiner and a complainer. You'll still be called a brat when you're 40. That's just the way anime works. The hell does this mean? Okay, I guess I'll take a crack at it. I was never very good at like this kind of shit. The word puzzles, the numerical codes. I had my Encyclopedia Brown phase. Tried code breaking. The Hardy Boys did code breaking stuff, so I would try my hand at it, of course. But never my strong suit. Okay, so I'm going to assume this isn't an alphanumeric substitution where it's like 9 is 9 letters in, mainly because you've got like some 3-digit numbers, so that just doesn't work. Even 31 doesn't work. So, but sometimes like with something like 31, you go through it twice. You do that just to throw off the code breaker, right? So I'm going to assume it's not that. I'm also going to assume this isn't like a longitude latitude thing. I just don't think there's enough numbers. So then what you try to do is you try to look for patterns. Okay. You got 4 numbers at the first line, 4 numbers second line, but then you have 5 numbers third line, so there's no pattern there. There's no even odd pattern, although most of the numbers are odd. You have a couple even numbers. You have 8, you have 106. So no pattern there. Then you got to say, okay, the dots, are they just to separate numbers, or are the dots part of the number? 106.7. It sounds like a radio station, but it's like it's 7/10 between 6 and 7, right? Is that what's going on? Well, the fact that the first line has 2 dots makes it probably unlikely. I don't know if there is. I think you only get 1 dot per number. 100.54. You never. I don't think you see 100.54.75, right? Like so. I don't. So that works. So there's no discernible patterns really. There's an exception to every pattern you can try to find. So then you try to say the numbers out loud and see if that gives you anything. Like you'd write out 9, 31, 8. Then you'd write out 106, 7, 207, 15. Then you try writing them out and you see what that does. I'm not going to go to that level because I don't think I can break the code. So it's not worth the trouble. But if it was vital I break the code, that would be the next thing. I would write them out. So what you want to kind of do is you want to get away from the obvious. So you think, okay, what is not as obvious? Writing them out is something that's not as obvious. Looking for patterns is something that's not as obvious. Don't look at them as numbers. Look at them as things. How many individual numbers are there? Well, if you go by the dots being groupings, then it looks like you have 5, 7 total numbers. But what if you just do each individual number? Well, there's 4, 4, and then 5. So that's 13. There's 13 total numbers. Then you could do something like it's, if you write out the numbers, then maybe the dots are where you would isolate letters and stuff. There's so many possible combinations. I'm not going to break the code. But these are some of the techniques you can use to start breaking the code and see what happens. And a lot of times you're just trying to get your mind to make a connection from here to here. Some of the more clever writing techniques I've seen when it comes to encoding information and having characters realize it when it's plot relevant for them to realize it are wordplay things. Like wood, Paulo lies becomes paralyzed because you misheard him a little bit. Or wood, wood can be WOOD, but it can also be WOULD, right? There's some wordplay you can do there. There's wordplay you can do with names. Somebody's name was Door, and you just thought, well, that's just a dumb name. Well, it turns out they were actually a physical door, right? So you know what I'm saying. So there's a lot of wordplay and number play and thinking outside the box you can do. And you can kind of attack it that way if you're a novice like we are, and you've tried the obvious stuff and they've tried their obvious codes that didn't work. This is the next level of shit. And once you exhaust this method, you got to get to somebody who's really good at this kind of shit. There are people they're good at puzzles, naturally gifted. You're going to need somebody like that, because I ain't it. But that would be what I would do. And the other clever thing he's doing, he's going to people that knew him and seeing if any of this shit rings a bell. So then you got to figure out, okay, now here we have more information than they do. We actually know what he saw. Now we don't know, he made a connection at the last second. He didn't tell us what it was. But we know what he was experiencing. So then you got to ask the question, just as an audience member, what the hell is he trying to convey? What would be so important that he needs to communicate it? That's an interesting question, right? What could he have figured out? Maybe a power source. Or this was actually an illusion and he figured out what the illusion is, or something. And you got to convey that. But see, the people that you're talking to, they didn't see the sum total of everything that happened. Now, they got the information before the frog left of everything that happened. I guess he would tell all that stuff in detail. Okay, here's what happened, and then Jiraiya did this, and then this is what happened. This was the response. He did this, and this was the response, and all that stuff. So I guess they have almost as much information as we do. They have the information up until the frog left. I don't think we saw much beyond. I can't remember exactly, but I think he just got murked at that point. They just jumped him. He realized something. No, he had his epiphany, sent the message. The frog leaves, and then I think he just dies. I think is that how it worked out. He just got jumped at that point. So I think, actually, now that I think about it, there was no information he got after the frog left that's relevant because the frog left with the message. So the frog should know everything you need to know, all the context you need to know, so that when you get the message, you can put it into the context and it'll all make sense. He has a necklace. Maybe you realize he has a necklace. If you destroy the necklace, you destroy all of his extra people, right? I don't know. Something like that. It'll be something like that. So, but yeah, that's the other context you need is what could he be trying to tell you? What is the nature of the information he's trying to pass along? So put all that together. They're doing all the right stuff. There's no obvious saying, wow, they should have done this to figure this out, that I can tell. They talked to people. The most important thing was talking to people that know him. Drew a blank there. I don't know. This ought to be really good. The resolution to this ought to be pretty clever, I think. We'll see.